On April 21st, 2016, 8 members of the Rhoden family were murdered in Pike County, Ohio. Several members of the Wagner family were eventually arrested for the killings. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad with myself. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
It's going to take a minute to make that sound natural when I say it, isn't it?
Yes, it doesn't roll off the tongue quite like our old
Not
handle
quite
did,
yet.
but we're going to get there. Yeah.
We are. So you may have noticed some changes around here, and that is because we are rebranding. We have given ourselves a new name. We are now True Crime Squad, and you are part of our squad. You've already been a part of our squad for 2.5 years and
Mhm.
580 episodes or something like that.
Mhm.
But we decided it was time to rebrand to get a little closer to what we're actually doing versus what we were doing at the very beginning of this podcast.
Yep.
So you will be seeing a few changes around here as we go. But the biggest one is that we're the True Crime Squad, and we are
Mhm.
inviting you to join our squad. You know, one of the things that we like to do, we like to educate about the criminal justice system. We like to give you a call to action on a pretty regular basis of something
Mhm.
you can do to help, as well as share the true crime stories. And so we wanted to
Mhm.
get a little closer to what we were doing now in our branding. And,
Mhm.
you know, we're not going to stop doing the psychic stuff, but we are going to do it a little differently. So
Yep.
you'll be hearing about that coming up. We are going to put the psychic hour into part of our subscription service over on YouTube, but it's going to be super cheap, like 99 cents cheap for
Mhm.
the month.
Yeah.
But we want to kind of go more true crime publicly and do our psychic work more on our Patreon and in our YouTube membership. So we will see how that goes. Of course, we want you all here. We want to include you all, and we want you to be our squad because we
Yep.
know that working on this stuff together, we really can make actual change in our communities, and that's a big goal of this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Katie, besides all that, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We had a fabulous weekend. Last weekend celebrating my birthday, so now we're like
We
just
did,
coming back to reality around here and
right?
just, you know, living the dream. It's really freaking hot, but you know,
Hmm.
'tis the season, so we can't complain too much about that. But no, I am all is well. My little Bruno, his poor little eyes are finally clearing up, so he doesn't
Oh,
look
good.
a little scary to look at anymore. So that's good news.
Yeah,
So
he
we'll take
definitely
it.
had some pretty swollen eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy. Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, we have lots to get to today, so why don't we get there? You're going to start us off with a crime update.
Yes. A TikToker that I follow, that some of you guys probably follow, has suffered an unthinkable tragedy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she has a plea to action that I wanted to share with you guys. Her name is Ophelia Nichols. She is known on TikTok as Shoe Lover 99, but most especially she's known as Mama Tot. Why is
Hmm.
she known as Mama Tot? Because she refers to her listeners as her tater tots. She is everyone's mama. She is the sweetest human on the planet of Earth. She, on her page, does everything from empowerment to telling you things your mama should have but never did, and helping
Hmm.
keep women safe. And it's just overall just an absolute shining star in
She
this
is.
world. And last weekend, her 18, almost 19-year-old son was murdered.
Oh,
And so rather than tell you about it, I'm going to let her tell you about it. She has a TikTok asking for help. from people who maybe saw something or know something. And I wanted to share that with you guys because she deserves that.
For sure.
So here we go.
The word has already gotten out, and I'm just being overloaded with messages. And I need to let everybody know. But I'm doing this video for a reason, because I need y'all's help. I ain't never asked y'all for anything, but I need your help with this. There's almost 7 million people that follow me. Somebody's got to know something. Today would have been my baby child's 19th birthday. But he was took from me last night. He took from my children and my husband and our family. My son was murdered. He was shot. And I have this hatred in my heart that I don't recognize. Because I've never felt hate for anybody. This individual took my son's life. He was just 18 years old. That's the best part of somebody's life. And I know they're out there in my town. They're out there. They're out there living and breathing when my son is dead. And I want you to look at my son. Look at my son. Look at him. Look at him. This is my son. And you took him from me. Look at his face. Look at it. Because I'll never see it again. Somebody knows who did this to my child. And I'm asking for somebody's help. Anybody's help. It's my son. My son. My son. Please. Please.
That was brutal. Damn.
It was really tough to watch.
So sad.
She is saying that the police are telling them they have a couple of suspects, and my God, I hope they find who did this.
Mm-hmm. Where are they from? Where did this happen?
This happened in Alabama. I'm not sure where.
Mm.
The article I'm reading says Alabama, but it doesn't
Does it
say.
give a city?
No. He was shot at a gas station and drove himself to another gas station where he died in his car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. It must be a big city in Alabama because it's Pritchard?
Oh, Pritchard.
A Pritchard gas station. I don't know if I don't know. But yeah.
Okay.
At any rate, I certainly hope that that somebody says something. Yeah, it is Pritchard. And helps the police figure out what the hell happened to this kid.
Right. Well, as always, if you saw something, say something.
Yep, as always.
That's our
And
motto.
all of our love going out to Ophelia and her family.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I am going to pass the mic back to you for our main case.
Yes. All right. So You've probably heard of the Pike County Massacre. We have not covered it before, but I thought it might be interesting to cover because one of the murderers, well, accused murderers, is in court right now
Ah,
in this case. And so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the story, about what happened, and then we'll talk about what's happening with it now.
great.
So this occurred on the night of April 21st to the 22nd of 2016. This was in Pike County, Ohio, was near a little town called Peebles. And 8 members of the Rhoden family were shot and killed in 4 different homes in Pike County in one night.
Oh my God.
Right? So a family member came to one house to help feed animals and found everyone in that house, well, all of the adults, and a 16-year-old boy was also killed, were dead.
Wow.
And then they started checking on the rest of their family, who all lived in about an 8-mile radius total. And some of them were actually much closer than that, but the furthest away one was 8 miles.
Mhm.
And then they start calling the police from all these houses because all of the adults in these homes have been shot execution style.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 young children, including 2 infants, were left alive.
But in a house full of dead adults.
Yes.
Oh my
Actually,
God.
one of them was in bed with their dead mother.
Oh.
Yeah. They believed that it was at least 2 shooters. They did believe, obviously, that it was premeditated,
Mhm.
that the Rhoden family knew the people who committed this murder,
Sure.
these murders. And so they started investigating, and what they found was, well, pretty interesting. The first thing that they discovered is that the Rhodens had a pretty big marijuana grow and cockfighting operation going on.
Oh.
However, they couldn't find any connection between the marijuana and the cockfighting and their deaths, which kind of seems
Mhm.
hard to believe, but they couldn't find any connection.
Mhm.
So they did immediately have suspicions about the Wagner family. Jake Wagner he was an ex-boyfriend of one of the victims, Hannah Rhoden, and was the father of her 3-year-old. 3-year-old did survive this, was not shot.
Yeah.
In November of 2018, the police arrested 4 members of the Wagner family. So this was a real family affair, which I think is very interesting and
Yeah.
terrifying. So we have
Mhm.
George Billy Wagner III, who is the dad, mom Angela Wagner, George Wagner IV, and Jake Wagner. Now,
Mhm.
these people, mom and dad, are 47 and 48. The boys are 27 and 26. They also arrested a couple of family members who were were charged with perjury and obstructing justice because they had been misleading investigators because the Wagners scattered and sort of spread out.
Sure.
They were in different states, in different counties and stuff when they were
Uh-huh.
found. So Jake Wagner did pretty quickly confess and plead
Mhm.
guilty,
Wow.
but he said he only committed 5 of the murders. He was given 8 life sentences.
Wow.
He pled guilty to 8 counts of aggravated murder, felony conspiracy, 4 counts of aggravated burglary, unlawful possession of a dangerous ordinance because he had some kind of explosive.
Oh,
Multiple counts of tampering with evidence, forgery, unauthorized use of property, interception of wire oral communication, obstruction of justice, engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity, and unlawful sexual contact with a minor because his relationship with Hannah Rhoden started when she was 13.
oh my God.
Yeah. So you can't really get worse than Jake Wagner,
Yeah.
but maybe you can because his parents were also involved in this.
Yeah.
So as part of his guilty plea, the state did not seek the death penalty for Jake or his parents or his brother.
Wow.
Now, he did say that he only shot 5 of the 8 victims, and he agreed to cooperate with the prosecutors and testify against his family members.
Wow.
Yeah. So last year, in September of 2021, he was sentenced to 8 consecutive life sentences. Also, in September of 2021, Angela Wagner, mom, pled guilty to conspiracy to commit aggravated murder, several counts of aggravated burglary, tampering with evidence, and other charges as part of her plea deal.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have left dad and brother. And that's where things are getting interesting. So George Wagner IV, who is the brother, 1 year older than Jake,
Mm-hmm.
has pled not guilty. He says he shot no one
Oh.
and that he didn't do any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Their dad, George Wagner the third, has also pled not guilty. They, the family members have all agreed to testify against brother George in court. I mean,
Bye,
these
George.
people, this, and this just happened on June 21st of this month. So this was, they just,
Uh-huh.
the judge is going to allow testimony against George Wagner IV from his parents and his brother.
Wow.
I mean, a family that slays together does not stay together,
I guess not.
right? It is believed that this whole thing and murder of 8 people stemmed from a custody dispute over the 3-year-old child that Jake Wagner and Hannah Rhoden had together.
Oh my God.
And that their solution was to murder the majority of this family.
Good Lord.
Right?
Okay. How old was Hannah when the 3-year-old was born?
Like 16-ish.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's all this statutory, so
Yeah.
much stuff, right? So the George the Fourth's attorney is like, this is not fair because Jake Wagner isn't he had there's motivation to spin this his way
Mm-hmm.
because of his deal that keeps the death penalty off the table.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's saying that, this is not fair for him to be able to testify against him. And the judge said, too bad, we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
he is
why can't the jury decide if he's credible? You
right.
know?
And I think that that's really what's going on here, is that that's what they want to do. So we're going to keep an eye on this because we have both George Wagners to work their way through the system and
Mm-hmm.
to be
And a
testified.
shit show of testimony from everyone testifying against each other.
Right. Yes.
Interesting.
Also, there's some evidence that there was a vote taken in the family about whether or not they should do this. And the
Oh.
vote was taken by mom, Angela Wagner.
My God, lady.
Right?
How is this your solution?
Right. How is this your solution?
These guys attended the Brian Laundrie School of Thought.
Right? These people are terrifying and hopefully stay behind bars for life because they are very scary. Solving your custody problem by murdering 8 people and then going on the run. Terrifying. Yes. So we're going to
Yikes.
keep an eye on this. This Wagner case is a huge thing in Ohio. And, the Rhoden family, of course, absolutely horrified by their loss.
Well, yeah,
It's
geez.
just unbelievable. The whole thing is
And a
unforgivable.
bunch of kids left without parents.
Yes, children left without parents. And, now, I mean, we have Jake and Angela have pled guilty, and now they're going to testify against the Georges. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, it is.
But I wanted to share it because this is a big case in Ohio right now. And, people are certainly out for blood on this one. They want those Wagners
Yeah.
to go away forever. And it really seems likely that they will. So
Yeah.
we will continue to update you as George goes to trial and we see, more information comes out. We'll hear what everybody
Yeah.
has to say about what George's involvement was.
Right, because where the other two pled guilty, we haven't seen much. So
Right. We haven't. This will be the first trial in
Mhm.
this case. So all of our Ohioites who are familiar with this case, you'll be glad to know we're covering it.
Yeah.
And we're also just really horrified by it.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, Katie, I'm going to send it over to you for something else we'll probably be horrified by with some WTF news.
Yeah. Any bets on how young you think the world's youngest serial killer is?
6 comes to mind.
Yep. So this is Armarjeet Sada.
Okay.
And yes. Well, he started when he was a little younger. By the time he was 10, he had murdered 3 children.
My God.
All 3 of them were relatives.
Okay.
One of them was his little sister. The other 2 were other children in his family. And he chose babies. He murdered 3 babies
Oh.
in the span of 12 months. So I guess he was 9, 10 years old when these happened.
Mm-hmm.
This, of course, happened in India in 2006 and 2007. So he beat 6-month and 8-month-old cousins to death, or a 6-month-old cousin to death, and then his 8-month-old sister to death, and then a 6-month-old baby boy to death after that.
My God. Were they not suspecting him?
The family knew about the first 2 crimes. He came from a very poor, like field laborer family, and they kept them private as family matters to protect the family, according to an uncle.
Oh my God. And then let him do it a third time?
After the third one,
Holy hell.
uh, the third one was okay. So the first 2 were relatives. The third one was not. Um, the articles about this kid are very varying because this
Mm.
all happened in India in a very poor area where like there's not a lot of info. So
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for that. But uh, a woman named Chuchan Devi left her baby at a primary school in 2007. His name was Kushbu. When she returned, he was missing.
Mm.
And not long after that, a neighbor of the Devi family, Sada, faced charges.
Mm.
The people who knew him said he had a dark streak and that they had previously suspected him of deaths of the children in his family. So there were some people in their village that called the police and said that they felt like they should look at him for this. And the police were like, he's 10 years old, so no.
Mm.
But the villagers kept putting pressure on the police. The police finally put some pressure on their family. And the parents eventually allowed the son to talk to the police and absolutely deadpan. He said, yeah, he took Kushbu, 6 months old, stole her from the preschool or the primary school. He said he hit her with bricks until she died and buried her in a shallow grave.
Oh my God.
And he led the authorities straight to her grave.
Wow. Terrifying.
And then he told them all about how he had murdered his little sister and cousin.
Oh my God.
And he had beat them all to death.
Jesus.
Yep. So he was tried for this, and he was detained at a children's home, but under India law, he could only be detained at a children's home until he turned 18.
Oh dear.
He was released in 2016, and nobody knows where he is.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Under a different name, killing somewhere else, I would imagine.
Yeah, very scary.
That's horrifying that they couldn't hang on to him.
Mm-hmm. So the world's youngest serial killer is currently just wandering loose. And now, has he committed more crimes? We don't know. But I think it's terrifying to think that he's out there in the world.
Yeah, because
Yep.
kids that start killing that young,
No.
they're never gonna not.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yep. Very frightening. So there you go. This has been a heavy episode. Wow.
Sorry.
Sometimes true crime is just that.
Well, sometimes it is, and we just have to report what's happening. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we can make it funny, and sometimes we cannot make it funny.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for that, Katie.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is our Wednesday episode. It means that
Mm-hmm.
we will be back tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain for our Case Updates live stream, which we have lots of very interesting updates happening in the true crime world. And we'll be sharing all of those. And we're excited to
Mm-hmm.
have you come and join us live if you can. We'll be live on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. So come
Mm-hmm.
find us on both. And don't forget, we're now the True Crime Squad. Please join our squad. Like,
Mm-hmm.
subscribe, comment, share. Go find us on Patreon. Be a part of our squad over there as well. We put out 2 extra episodes a month,
Mm-hmm.
and you can benefit from that by becoming a patron. And there's lots of you get to see the back episodes too, and there's like more than 2 years worth
Yeah.
of extra episodes over there. So you want to check that out as well. So we are True Crime Squad over there on Patreon now. So I just want to say thanks for being here. And you know what? We are True Crime Squad with Kristi and Katie.
Thanks
Have
for
a good
being
day.
here.